Let's go take a look at some questions here about finding the area underneath the standard normal curve. And so what we learned back with empirical rules that once you have the mean and standard deviation, we can calculate what percent of the data fall within certain values. And so to answer questions like this, it's related to what we did in 7.1, but sometimes instead of looking at the actual values, we look at their z-scores. And so we want to know what's the probability that someone's z-score is these values, given a certain set of data. And so to determine the area underneath the standard normal curve, you just go back to stat calculator's normal, and then on a problem like this, the mean is 0, standard deviation 1. And on this problem here, it says, what's the probability that the area to the left of a z-score of z equals 0.08? What's the probability that someone has a z-score less than 0.08? You put 0.8 here. Let me double check I did that right. It is 0.08, so you put 0.08 here. Left is less than, and just hit compute, and there's your answer. There's your 0.08. The left of that, remember, mean is 0, standard deviation is 1 when we standardize z-scores. So that's how you would do the left one. If you moved on and looked at other questions, and you also might see this here that you could use a table to answer these questions, so that's another way to do it, but we're using StatCrunch in here. And so what's the area to the right is 1.94, if you were going to look at that problem here. And so in this case, you would just put 1.94 here, and then greater than compute, and it's a 2.6% chance that someone's z-score is 1.94, or that they're 1.94 standard deviations. You also would have the same type of question here, and you can use z-tables to answer those questions also. It's a lot more difficult though. And then you could also answer questions like this, where you determine what percentage of people, what's the probability someone has z-scores between negative 0.16 and 0.16. Again, StatCrunch would be the easiest, and the normal calculator, stat, right, calculus normal, you go between, and I think there was negative 0.16 and positive 0.16, compute, and notice StatCrunch draws in the area there, so you don't have to use a table to do this. And it's a 12.7% chance that someone has z-scores between negative 0.16 and positive 0.16.